Yeah, I got it here somewhere. Downside to reading Silver Age comics. And this is by a guy named David Harth. I apologize for the glares on the glasses, but I do need them to read. I am an older man.
Older man.
Older, yes. Okay, so it goes on to say comic art form's origins are lost to time, but the 20th century would see them changed forever. The Golden Age comics, beginning with Superman's first appearance, was ushered in as Marvel and DC comics created icons that would last the test of time. Superhero comics lost their luster in the 50s, but after a few years, DC would kick off the Silver Age with Showcase number 4, which, by the way, Martian Manhunter appeared before Flash, just saying. All right, Silver Age was wildly creative time with many pop culture's biggest characters premiering. Legends like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Julius Schwartz, Roy Thomas, John Broome, Gardner Fox changed the language of comics. That said, going back and reading the comics of the Silver Age reveals some harsh realities, ones that many fans gloss over to praise a part of the comic book history. Okay, let me stop right there. And by all means, Venkman, if you have something to say, or Eric, when you jump in, if you have something to say. Oh, he's pricing a pile of comics. We should have talked a little bit longer. I may just. If you do have something to say, just say stop. All righty. Now,
Stop!
Stop! Stop! Okay. So here it says that it's harsh realities that many fans gloss over. And I'm here to say that what they're talking about is things shit that Twitter would be mad at. Fans don't worry about this stuff. A lot of comic book fans, by the way, understand that a lot of these books are written for their time. That yes, you don't have the same mindset as you used to in the 1940s. I know Venkman doesn't have the same mindset that he had in the 1940s. It's just
do.
A different time.
I do, and sometimes you got to put a woman in her place. Yeah. Oh, we're live. Oh.
Let's see, comic book staple characters. And I'd rather watch Fox Kids and Ebony Kids back in the 90s than watch comic book related movies nowadays. You know what? I get it. I get it. I'm the easy guy too. Wait a cotton pit minute. I'm the only one on this channel who can say stop. That is true.
Well, what do you mean by excuse me, Marania? What do you mean by cotton picking minute?
Right. This right here is trademarked by Marania. The stop lines. Yes. MK saying, hey, England team, did you read Batman? No. Where it's an updated take on Batman and Joker's first meeting. Pretty brutal and gory at times. Unfortunately, I have not. I just have not read a lot of new comic books. I thought I was going to be able to, and I just lost it. I have had to step outside the house a few times to make money. It's been driving me even more away from the making videos part of the making videos on YouTube job. But what you going to do? You keep going, right? Okay, what else can we talk about? Well, I'm stalling to get Eric in on this.
Well, I don't do any Stalin stuff. I'm not communist.
Stalin, yeah, not Stalin, stalling for our back from the dead. Ms. Marvel is reborn as a mutant. Anybody surprised that happened? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. How it just seems like this is so slow of a news day. It's like when they killed off Ms. Marvel. While we're talking about the killing off of Ms. Marvel, I remember saying, they're going to bring her back, and probably as a mutant. We knew that. Because they want to make it as we knew that back then. This is not news now. What else? There's something else going around that this channel talked about a long time. Girls. Thank you. There's something else this channel talked about. It was the whole what was it? Top 10 fans suck list. We did that a month ago, and now it's finally hitting. It's finally hitting the main YouTubers, I guess. So, what you gonna do? That one's a lot of fun too, but nobody's surprised. Oh, they're bringing back Ms. Marvel. They're teasing the death of Moon Knight for how freaking long? I wouldn't mind seeing a reboot of comics, like from start to finish, and starting now, death means something. I would have actually liked to have seen that about 20 or 30 years ago. But with Superman, as a matter of fact, I wanted to see that with the death of Superman. This is the one you don't around and bring back 3 days later. I would have loved to have seen that. And I think that's something. Getting death to matter in comics again would be awesome. Speaking of death, hey Eric, what's up?
I have risen.
I like your Flint or
the what?
Your name here. You're steering into.
Oh yeah. That's left over from last night's reading.
Are you guys ready for Pong?
Huh?
I get it.
Just pass me back and forth.
Yeah, he's the Pong. He's the Pong table. I really did think, you shared this out. Obviously, you have some thoughts. I looked over it. I didn't read the little blurbs they have for everything.
Yeah, there'd been no point.
And I was thinking we could do that for the video. And definitely number one, I got to say something. Wait, it is he,
No,
Eric Breen? Yeah.
I, Eric Breen, am here.
The mole man.
With he, Englentine, and he, whatever you call yourself when you're behind that.
Okay. All right. Let's get this one going here. But once again, I'm anybody saying, oh, they're gonna kill off this character for a day. For a day, it doesn't matter.
Took them 2 years to bring back Doctor Strange. Marvel.
I thought this was the top 10 things that are problematic about Silver Age.
Yeah, we were talking about something stalling for you. All right, so it goes on. Let's start off. Number 10, mean-spirited Superman comics are strange. First of all, go to From the Long Box. Eric and I did an entire video counting down the top 30 Superman as a dick covers. It goes on to say Superman is the DC's biggest icon. He's comic books' biggest icon. And the Silver Age defined many facets of the character's mythos. The Silver Age was an amazing time to be a Superman fan, but there were also some very strange stuff going on in Superman books. The books were surprisingly psychedelic, playing with the identity and genre in interesting ways. Superman comics of the Silver Age also leaned in a curious direction. This was an era defined by jerk Superman stories, where comic covers would show Superman doing something terrible to Jimmy Olsen or Lois Lane. These stories are so strange to modern readers, especially ones who grew up with Superman as a paragon of virtue. They don't fit the squeaky clean image of Superman.
Can I take a stab at this?
Okay, you start. Sure.
See, I never really understood that either, but I'm trying to think about it. It's more like a gag. It's not meant to be taken to be serious. It's meant to be a good joke. It's not supposed to be like, because before this in the 40s, in the Golden Age, Superman was pretty much serious. So they decided to have, like you'd say, Batman 66 kind of style of Superman.
Okay, well, Eric, you look like
that's my impression.
Have a response to this.
Oh, I was turning over, finding a game.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the only problem with this was for everybody that would see these covers and think, wow, maybe something cool is finally going to happen in one of these books. And then when we get to the end, we're going to find out it's not a red herring. And he actually did something. No. At the end, it's like a CBS show, procedural. It's all wrapped up into a nice, neat bow by the end. And we're once again left disappointed.
Yeah, but they're fun stories. Still.
Right. No, I'd say this. Whoever wrote this article didn't read any of these.
No.
I mean, I said, okay, here's, in all seriousness, the people that write these articles weren't around when these books were on spinner racks or newsstands, and you basically had to sell the book by the cover.
Yeah. And
a captivating cover or a salacious cover or something like this, that gets it off of the rack. And most people knew, obviously, that when they read we're going to find out the context behind it, and that it wasn't what it seemed, and so that's all there's to it.
It's a gimmick.
Right? They're absolutely wrong. DC survived on gimmick covers in their superhero line.
Yeah, I never took these as being serious, and being like, he's actually really a dick in this, and no, it's just a new thing to get new readers, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna go one more, and I've got a question to go with mine. Obviously, I'm 53 years old. That means one very important TV show got me into DC Comics more than any other, and that's the Super Friends. And I'm wondering how much the Super Friends did damage, not just to Aquaman, but to everybody. Because if you do go back and you read the Golden Age stories, if you do go back and read a lot of the Silver Age stories, Superman wasn't squeaky clean. I'm not saying he's smoking and doing drugs and like that. There was never a heroin issue of Superman. But the thing is he was a dick in a lot of stuff. I have the Supergirl, the phone book. I have the Supergirl phone book, the Showcase Presents. I've read these books, and Superman was a flat out dick from the beginning to Supergirl. Oh, you can't tell people you exist was the first freaking rule of being Supergirl. So, I mean, he was not a squeaky clean guy at all, ever since the beginning, when he would be breaking into people's offices and beating the shit out of them because they were charging high rent. It's just I think the Super Friends kind of caused this image that just wasn't actually there in the comics. Hello to Ash. How you doing?
Greetings, fellow comic fans.
All righty. Do you have something to say about number 10 here before we move on to number 9?
I just wanted to say I wanted to come on as the resident Silver Age hater. I thought I could give you guys some contrast.
I'm just here to advertise my channel since I don't have a name.
What a show.
Oh, by the way, hello to Rachel. She popped in. I hope you're still hanging out and still doing well. One slick dude says these are the DC versions of What If. By the way, they did actually have kind of what if stories back then. They would call them imaginary stories, which I thought was kind of funny because they're all imaginary, but all right.
Hey, I got a question though. Like, I thought
up?
that the Superman being a dick was more of a Golden Age thing. It was a Silver Age too?
No, it's mostly in the Silver Age.
Yeah.
Oh, I've only ever read it in the Golden Age.
There's a world open to you, man. Yeah,
the Super Dickery is from the covers in the Silver Age, like the one in the thumbnail where he's disconnecting Lois's air hose and where he's sitting there reading the paper while someone falls to their death. In the Golden Age, the stuff he did was actually in the stories.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Now you're clarifying it for me. I appreciate it, because like the Golden Age Superman was more of just a bastard, and the Silver Age was like the one who was like spanking Lois because she did something like.
Well, sometimes she'd earned it.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just felt like it.
Rachel,
I don't think
awesome.
it's mean spirited.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, I've got to point out I have two comic book channels. One talks about the politics. This is that one does live streams. The other one is called From the Long Box. The link's in the description, and it is more about comic books themselves. And Eric and I did a video. Go over there and search it. It was basically the top 30 super dick. I don't mean it like Rachel means it. Comic book covers. This, by the way, or the one that is on the thumbnail, was not number 1. As a matter of fact, they get so bad that at number 30, Eric was like, "Wait a second, this is number 30." Yeah. All righty, let's move on to number 9. Then we'll see how long it takes me before I'm yelling at the kids again.